So I think that's really good, Darla. I mean, I think there's so much that we are going to together. And I love what you said, it's like, we're just going to do this together. We got to figure it out. And so sort of, can we ask, so what are areas that you're really curious about? Like, as I know you're obviously a very experienced reporter, writer for CNBC. What topics are you really honing in? Are you really looking at how business owners, how this is going to impact business owners, or are there certain areas that you're like really focused on for the stimulus package?
Certainly on whatever's coming out, I'd say, we're pretty interested in the unemployment side. Absolutely. Definitely the stimulus and how that shapes up. I would be curious as to whether there's any kind of childcare relief that comes out of this once Congress gets together and puts together some kind of, I don't know, reconciliation bill. And certainly whatever's going on with PPP and small businesses, since it's such an interesting time for small business owners themselves. And, whatever we're looking at, it's going to incorporate some degree of tax planning and planning out financing. So it's an interesting time for sure.
It is. It's a very interesting time. I know for many of you, it's a very stressful time, right? There's a lot of financial anxiety as it pertains to unemployment, how we're going to make ends meet. And there's so much talk. And thank you so much for those of you who joined me earlier today. We were talking about, the concern of evictions and what that looks like. And we know that there's eviction protection for a few more months, but how is that going to extend further? I think my opinion on it is I do think eviction protection will continue until we feel safe enough to travel, send our kids back to school and everything else. So I would say right now, definitely I wouldn't be in a hurry to pack up my house if you feel like you can't make rent. I think we're going to be okay in that respect. I think definitely both parties, Darla, I don't know how you feel, but I think both parties would agree they want to keep Americans in their houses. We certainly don't want to increase homelessness on top of unemployment numbers. What are your thoughts, Darla?
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, well, you would think that's a goal that everyone would want to get behind, certainly you'd want to keep people in their homes and, allow them to have some form of stability just given what's been going on.
Right. So I think I'm optimistic. I feel like there's going to be some more discussion. I think we hopefully will hear by next week. Darla, I don't know if you know, but what is I know there's a deadline because I do know the government is leaving the White House to go on recess. Is it? I think it's August 5th. Is that the date you're sort of remembering too?
I'd have to go back and look, because I've got all of these other dates in my head.
I know.
So I'd have to go back and look. Yeah, this is definitely the sort of thing though that you would have hoped that by now they would have reached some kind of deal so that folks have some kind of certainty going forward.
You would have thought so, right? Because they had all this time between the CARES Act and now. There was so much opportunity to reassess. I mean, at least get the bare bones of the plan discussing, and then you can always tweak as the pandemic numbers or unemployment data increases over time. But come on, people, make a decision already so the rest of us can have some closure, at least temporarily. Now, I know you don't have a crystal ball, so I'm not going to ask you to say for sure, but just your feeling, I'll give you my answer. Do you feel like this stimulus package is going to be the last package? Because I feel like it's not. I feel like if the pandemic continues and extends, that we probably will have another package in the future. Totally your opinion, totally a guess. What do you think, Darla?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Well, I mean, if I'm right, I'm going to have to go and try my hand at the lottery as well. But yeah, I would agree with that too. I feel like generally you just can't get the economy back on its feet until people feel safe to go back outside, do business, go back to their jobs, bring their kids to daycare. And honestly, I feel like at the end of the day, a lot of us is going to be tied back to finding some kind of vaccine and really getting the coronavirus itself under control. So until that happens, I feel like we can anticipate, more of this economic uncertainty, and I would think more packages to come out and address that.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Darla. Thank you, my friend, for being on here. always a treat to spend time with you and learn from you. And thank you for all the work that you do at CNBC. Your articles are definitely my favorites. I love reading your content because it's so helpful for not only myself, but my clients as well in the personal finance space. So thank you for always being there for us and sharing that knowledge. I hope that you and your family have an amazing weekend. And, and I thank you because you were so kind to share some of your time. Because I know you're so busy. You actually, I don't even know how you do it because writing is not my strength. But you almost write an article a day, girl. How do you do this?
Well, I guess that's where we get to the exciting part of the job, where it's like, well, fortunately, something is always happening. There's always something going on, and there's pretty much always a personal finance angle to it. So for sure, it's an interesting time for us. So thanks so much for having me on. Yes.
Oh, goodness. It is so wonderful. And I just want to say a quick shout out to Jen Louie. Thank you so much for joining us as well, and everybody else who's tuning in. Let's go ahead and bring up that page one more time. I just wanted to invite all of you to follow Darla. This is her CNBC page on the CNBC website. She's also very active on Twitter, and you can follow her on Twitter as well. And you can follow her on LinkedIn and different social channels. But a great person to follow, someone I actually value quite a bit. I think she definitely has her pulse on the things that many of us should be very, very much aware of and knowing as it pertains to our own finances as well as that of our businesses. So I would invite you to follow her, and I know she's really great responding. So you can tweet her questions and whatnot, comments on her articles. I think you'll find it to be really helpful for you. So I'm grateful to have this opportunity to share her with you, and most important, for making this such a fun Friday. So Darla, I am so honored that you made the time to spend with me, and I sincerely hope that we can invite you back.
I'm looking forward to it. Thank you so much, Winnie. Have a great weekend.
Thank you. Have an amazing weekend. And thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. And most important, have a great weekend to all of you. If you could do me a favor, because this is an area that we're really excited about. We have a YouTube channel now. It's Winnie Sun TV. And you could do me a huge favor by subscribing to the channel and also clicking on that golden bell for notifications, so you'll know every time we're updating videos. We're having a lot of content on there right now about the stimulus package and updates regularly. So it would be wonderful to see you over there as well. And thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you have a beautiful weekend. And I will join you again Monday, same time, 1:30 Pacific, 4:30 Eastern, right here. Take care. Have a great